Okay, in order to do this trick, you need 2 equal pieces of rope about 6 feet long and 3 assistants to help you. Now, of course, I'm in a small studio, so I'm just going to use this small assistant here in front of me. Take the 2 pieces of rope, you put them behind your assistant's back like such. Bring around the ends of just one rope, give it a tie. Make sure you don't tie it around his throat, though. There you go, just around his waist like that. Now you give the 2 ends of the rope, one to each assistant on either side to hold. And as you see me doing here, I'm going to thread on just a loop real quick. I normally use juggling rings, but once again, this is on a smaller scale so you can see it, and I'm putting the watch on the other end so you can see it. But like I said, it's normally juggling rings. Of course, you can use cutouts, cardboard cutouts or whatever at this point. Now on the count of 3, we're going to tug it. Each assistant's going to have a hold on each end. They're going to count. You're going to tug it. 1, 2, 3. There, it leaves the ring solidly attached, and your assistant is freed. Now here's how you do it. 2 equal pieces of rope. Find the center of the rope like such by folding it over, and you're going to tie that together with just a piece of thread. Now this thread will be broken later, so make sure it's a thread that can easily be broken. Nothing super strong here, like fishing line. So you tie it around, and this has got to be invisible when you're done, so make sure you break off the loose ends. And that's it. Give it a couple of tugs. You're set to go. Now this is a secret move. While your assistants are coming up to help you, after you've tugged on it a few times, you're going to fold it like this, and then you're going to cover that up with your hand so that your audience can't see it, so they think you're still holding on to the 2 pieces of rope as normal. Now this is what it looks like from your viewpoint, so let me turn my assistant around here. When you put it behind his back, it actually looks like this. You bring up the 2 ends around to the front, give it that quick tie, not in a knot, just to interlace it one time. There you go. Now hand the 2 ends of the ropes, one to each assistant on either side, and of course thread your rings on. It's a great effect to get people up helping you. 1, 2, 3. Make sure your assistant doesn't fall over. And so that's it. There are several routines that I do with this. One of the routines you can do with this is you can talk about how Peter was bound up and put between guards on either side, but Jesus freed him from the shackles. You remember when they were praying for him, and then he went back, and the maid answered the door, but she didn't open it for him. You can talk about that, about how Jesus frees you. You can also talk about Daniel in the lion's den. If you take 2 cardboard cutouts and you make them look like lions' heads, and then you talk about Daniel being chained up, not physically of course, but chained up between the lions and bound up in his problems, and how Jesus can set him free. So these are some of the things you can do. You can talk about sin, just sin in general, about how people are bound up in sin, and when you put the 2 things on either side of them, you talk about the world on one side and the devil on the other side, and how it keeps you bound up and not able to get to where Jesus is, but you can be freed. So there's a number of things you can do with this. Anytime you can get more volunteers on stage, the bigger the illusion seems. You've got 3 volunteers in this particular trick, so it plays out very big, but the only investment you have is a couple of pieces of rope and whatever you're going to use on either side, the cardboard cutouts, or in my case juggling rings, which I would have anyway, and that little bit of thread, and it's a wonderful trick to do. And while I'm on that, let me show you this. This is what I use to tie them up. This is called transparent nylon. You're able to find this at Target or Walmart or whatever in the sewing department. Do not confuse this with fishing line. This is much thinner. It's very easily to break, but it's just about as invisible. It's very invisible, and it breaks very easy, which is important for this trick. And if you can't get your hands on this, some black thread works just as well, or white thread will work just as well.